Well, we have about a minute still to go, right? Well, and just to give you some idea about in these days about the COVID-19, right? So when that happens, the people are very, many people worry about it and then they try to, but if you, as long as you keep the protocol, like social distancing and even wearing masks and the sanitation kind of protocols, then you could avoid it. In my case, I had a contact with the COVID-19. Well, vaccination is also that the one of the part that actually keeping people safe from COVID-19. But the one of the cases that I got my haircut, and then the lady who gave my haircut actually tested positive after right the next day, right after the day that I got a haircut. So I had to take the test, and then it came out negative. But there's the incubation time, so you have to wait until, and then it has been more than 10 days. Well, it's more than that. So should be okay now, right? So something like that. If as long as you at the time that I was wearing masks and she was wearing masks, so as long as you are following the protocol, then you should be safe and okay. But vaccination is one of the critical part to keep you because in case that any of your family member or close people that you live in together, then if they get the COVID-19, then well, since you are sharing the space, you might you have a really high chance to get the COVID-19. All right. So anyway, that was just a brief story that I shared about COVID-19 before I start the series of the study method series of the lectures. Okay, now let me start. Hi, my name is Min. Okay, I this program is provided by myself, and then at the same time that the Vancouver Jungang Daily newspaper, which is a Korean newspaper, not English. They have an English site, but uh, it is kind of like in preparation. So if you are only English speaker, then you might be able to. Still, there is some of the news that coming from Korea and converted it into the Korean version, and then there's some local news as well. So you can watch them, right? Anyway, so today we will continue on the study method, which is concept building. But one of the part that I emphasize every single time that I'm doing this that is you have to you should to study to develop your brain and then to actually develop the thinking processes that what you need to do is you need to uh, you should be able to identify that if the study method that you are using is really developing the brain or is it like trapping you in the some of the knowledge that makes you to stop thinking. So the knowledge is simply you can think of in this way. You know once, right? You know that what you are curious about, but still, once you have the answer, then your brain stops thinking. And then it's like you are driving in a traffic jam. You just learn something new and then stop. Learn something new and then stop. And learn something new and stop. So keep going and stopping, going and stopping, going and stopping. This will stress your brain a lot. Okay, and then you can tell that from the car engines that even the automobiles, when if it is just keep going, just repeating that the stop and go, then that stresses the engine really the much more than driving just a highway, right? So if that's simply you can compare. If you drive in a local the city, then your gas consumption goes up. If you're driving in the highway, then your gas consumption goes down. That's how it goes. So basically, that's how your body works as well. So in order to really identify that the study methods that you're using, so this is critical. So building concepts, sometimes when I talk about the how to build concepts and how to connect concepts, most of the time that study doesn't really go as you planned. The reason is because your brain is processing information in old-fashioned way. Old-fashioned way meaning that not using the thinking processes, but relying on the knowledge. The reason that brain is relying on the knowledge is simple. That's in the answer is in the evolution processes. For example, let's go in this way, right? So this side is something like animals. Animals, in terms of animals, in terms of the evolution. So when animals are evolving, they have to learn techniques and they have to build their skills to either hunt or run from their predators and hide, right? So they actually study. And this is known factor that ravens, we have ravens around in here, the blackbirds that out here, that in Vancouver area, right? These ravens, they actually study when their one of their member dies, then they actually study that the reasons of why they die, right? And then that increases their survival. But the thing is that the way that they learn is this way. What they do is they look like they process the information that this provide me to tool to survive or any death. So survived, then continue with that skills and build continue and based on that skills. And if dead, then this one it will be eliminated from the nature. This is what it calls natural selection, but we are not gonna go into there. So survival, and to survive, you have to determine you should I eat this or should I avoid it? Should I go there, go somewhere, or should I avoid that specific area where predators are coming out very frequently, or something like that? And can I get near with this type of animals, other type of animals, or should I go around with these animals, or something like that, right? So these are the information that animals, how they process. So they learn, of course, and based on the result, eating and then their parents, their parents also teach their young kids in this way. This one you can eat it. This one you should avoid it. This place you can go, but this place you need to avoid. Like in the cats when they are territorial animals, they don't wanna go past their territory because if they pass the territory, that's like a war. They will be fighting, right? So something like that. So experience also one that the animals the way of learning and teaching, and at the same time the way that they process information is good. This is good to eat, or bad, or this is okay to do it or not. Something like that. Okay. So when you go to the school, then most of the education, many majority, but in these days that the education try to change the direction where actually brain the thinking processes get involved, but that's will take a lot of time because still that the education field is in the process of evolving. But from here, that what I provide in this the series of the lectures is totally different. You can go past, you can actually learn how to use your brain. Well, anyway, so the animal processes in just like a black and white, two different decisions, right or wrong, good or bad, and okay or not okay, should or shouldn't, something like that. So in this way, the problem with this approach is it is good for survival. If you are going out there, you are living in the jungle, or if you are living out there with the other life forms or organisms altogether, then these are the ones that you should have. When you collect food, you should identify some of the food that you can eat, some of the food that makes you sick or even kill you, right? So you have to identify. But think about what humans do. What for education? What is the education for human, as we say? Why you are many people well kids are forced to go to the school, and then what is the meaning of the learning? Learning in human is different from the animals. If you learn simply good or bad and then do this and then don't do it or something like that based on the ethics and those kind of things, then your brain will process the information just like this way, animal ways, right? But think about what is the society really in the society, what is really happening? When it is happening in the society that everybody living in is there is a competition, right? So people are competing in the job in the same company as they hired in to work for the company. They compete in there, company to company. They compete, and even different types of the organizations they compete each other so that they can survive, right? Then good, bad. What would it be good for, right? Not really. And in addition to that, you have to think about what happens when you are processing information and good and bad. If you like something, then you will get into the that topic so deeply, and then your brain will be fixed in that this is good, and you will reject. There's a high chance that for you to reject something that is bad. That means if someone comes and then says that, oh, you're using that product, I don't like it, then you will probably argue and you probably try to persuade them, saying that this is to convince them to have them trust what you say, right? So this is what happens. And think about it. Let's say there's a celebrity, like a singer, and there's a singer and who you like. And if you like one singer so much, and then if someone says, "Oh, I don't like that singer," then you probably get angry, or you try to kind of like persuade that people to like this as the singer that you like. Okay, this isn't a thinking process. You have to think about it. Okay, if you are so into something that you like it so much, and then you are not really really getting out of that area, then your brain will be fixed in there. Okay. Now let's compare in this way. If you, for example, uh, you are here and you like a singer, and you are so fan to this singer, and then you wanted to you admire them, and then what happens inside of your brain? Your brain will fix into this singer, and you're gonna be just thinking about the person. But think about what they do. They use their brain to think in a way that they make other people, a lot of people like them. So what they do is they actually process the thinkings to make other people to follow them, right? So they're the one that are thinking. And then if you just simply like them, if you wanted to be like them, and then if you're saying taking them as a role model, and then if you try to train yourself like them, that's a different story. But what I'm saying is like you are like really into the singer and you like them so much, but you don't really you just do nothing but like them and then support them or something like that. And I don't know if you have noticed or not, but the singers when they're really famous, then what do they do? There are sort of like the broadcasting companies or any companies they provide they ask them to be a model or the coming to the shows and then to the in part of the shows and the reason is they can get more money but when they these singers to come, right? Companies, when they hire these singers as a model of their product, then the company is making more money, right? So this is like a relay connected like in this way. Then, who are the person that who using the most of the brain power? Is companies or the broadcasting companies or companies that hiring these people to for their as their model. Then you like them, and then these people, because of the many fans loving them, they can make their livings, and then they can keep thinking, and then they can develop themselves, and then as they develop, and then these companies will take benefit out of them again and something like that. And this is like the how the capital is flowing, right? Now, my suggestion for you, since you're taking this the lectures, that my suggestion for you is don't be in here. You want it to be right here, or move to the top of the pyramid. If you are in the owner of a company, then you'll probably start thinking how you can hire these people as a model and then try to make many other people to buy your product. That's how you think and that's how your brain works. That's how you that's the reason that you need to develop the brain. Okay? So that means that if your brain is thinking process is just the if you kind of like something and then if you're falling into it and then if you don't really process learn how to process the brain the thinking processes then the chances in the future for of your life will be somewhere in here. Then, if this is like a large pyramid, then your level will be in down below. So I see many kids or even adults like a YouTube or like some really get into the singing, dancing, or everything. You have to think about it in this way. If you're taking those as your role model, and then you develop your own way, saying that why you like it, and then what factor you like makes you to watch this, then and then you analyze those the videos or the songs or anything, then you will be able to develop and then you will be able to be a person like these people around in here. But if you simply like them and if you simply repeat what they do, just as following, if someone is the singing of the one of the singer's song, and then you just simply repeating, and then you just simply enjoying them, that means that you are not developing your brain. Okay, so you have to think about it that way. So you basically what the reason that I brought this up is before I moving to the concept building is this. If unless you know in your life, everyday life, that what you do, and then unless you realize what you are doing, and then the how the actions that the everyday life cycle, how it is connected to the brain development, then you probably just didn't realize anything. You just simply live as is. But if you are the one that is studying, and if you are the one to develop your brain so that you can compete in the future with people that in the higher rank in the society, then you should change your lifestyle, everything. Okay. If you watch the YouTube and then you like something, then you have to analyze the all those the videos and see that which part is really attracting people. And if you like a song, then you listen to as you listen to you analyze what kind of what part is really attracting your the brain into it or something like that. So in the future, then once you do, then this will provide give you the chance to this will make your brain to build the concept around the songs, right? Songs that why which part. Then in the future, then you can use those to attract other people. So basically, you'll be the one that kind of like a person that's a celebrity, or you'll be the one that the leading the society, or owner of a companies, or owner of a organizations. Even if you're not being an owner, that's that's okay because you still have tools to compete with the people inside of the pyramid, right? So with this concept building methodology, well, that's actually the passive way because you have to have something like a songs, or you have to have some role model that you can follow and then try. This is kind of passive way. It's not active way, right? Because you need these ones. But the methods that I'm going to provide is they will make you independent thinker. That means you will be able to build concepts by yourself without this, but you will be using it, but not you are not gonna be dependent to it. Without this, you will change other subject and then you can do it, right? And you can make a connections. So building concepts is something like that. If I summarize in the previous lectures, then something like that. Building concepts will provide you to move to the inside the pyramid. It'll give you the power to move to the top of the pyramid. If you will be able to make connections with the different concepts, for like what Steve Jobs did, or as I said, that the Wright brothers who made the airplane, that the motorized airplane, powered airplane, I should say, right? Then what you can do is you can build your own company and compete, right? So this is how you go on. If you constantly train yourself to do this, building concepts and connecting concepts, and then if you can widen it in a way that the people never thought about, like what Newton and Albert Einstein did, then you'll be outside of the pyramid. There are theories like the Newton, for example, theory of the artificial satellite, concept of the artificial satellite. That's not inside of the pyramid. That's outside of the pyramid. Completely outside of the boundary of the human. Einstein's relativity theory. That's not in the pyramid. That's outside of it. So this is the area where real human brain is really functioning. Okay. So as I said, if you, as I guaranteed from the beginning, and as I said from the in the beginning, if you follow my lead and study as I provide you the method, well, we cannot go on with this part, but at least in here you will be able to learn how to go move to the top of the pyramid, and then if you will be able to extend that, then you can make the pyramid. The best way would be for you to the best way would be for you to the study with your own material, right? But it'll be a little bit too early for you to choose your own topic and then to study. So what I'm suggesting is that you want to use the one that I provide. You take these lectures, and then what you do is you use it, and then you follow the same the methods as I showed you, and then you choose any of the topics from if you are students, then you probably have many topics that you're learning from school, or if you are in a company and then working in a company that you and developing project or something, then you can take those topics and you can apply the study method and then see if you are able to process the thinking, well, use the thinking processes to follow by adapting these methods into yours. Okay, to do that, I did from the biology lectures before, but I gotta show you one more time. Right, so that is this. So the first thing you need to do is you have to have some basic idea that how it's processing, and then you have to have some this is like a textbook, okay? So you go to the ponder.ca, okay? And you just punch the ponder.ca, then you will it'll get you into this web page. What can do is go to the publication and go to books, click on the books, right? And then you can see there are three books. And these three books will be the basis of everything, okay? And then this will show you how to build concept, how to connect concepts, okay? And building concepts and connecting concepts, the beginning stage is you will need to choose something that is easy and simple. Okay. If it is something new and some terminology that is coming from any special area, for example, like a computer science or artificial intelligence, or if physics or something, well, I'm going to use those kind of things that in these lectures. But for you, in the beginning, if you are studying by yourself, you have to choose something that is very simple. Okay. And so the evolution of a brain and education, this booklet will, there are two different versions. You can print, you can have some mobile versions and which is larger and you can watch on the cell phone or smaller devices. And this one is for the printing or PC that you can read about it. So these are the one. This book will give you the background of the how the brain has been evolved and how the learning and teaching methodology in education field have evolved. Now, the real booklet for the training material is with these ones. Okay, building concepts. Building concepts is the first level. So if you let me just download it, not download, open it up, and then let me show you what it look like. Okay. So there's some basic idea, and then it begins with a checkpoint. This is one of the checkpoint that you can do. What this will give you is that this will provide you to measure which stage your brain is in right now. Okay, this is something called law of causation that I use. So, for example, the I gave you example right here, and then this is if you when you try this, and then if you have like about 10 topics you tried, and then if you are not able to really get uh like about at least two or three of them as this in a logical connection way. If you cannot make the logical connection with these questions, well, should I provide some examples? Yeah, I'll think about some examples and we might be able to start with it. But anyway, so here's one very simple example. Okay, water and life forms. Can water exist without life forms? Then no, water should exist because life form depends on the water, right? So something like that. But with this law of causation, so you can check if your brain is really thinking lot, if your brain, the concepts that you have inside of brain, if they are connected together in the logical way. Okay. If you cannot really think of the way that, oh, well, life could exist without water. And if you come up with like that, then that means that your brain is not really logically developed fully. Okay, so I might provide some quick the test material that you can do, and then if you're, let's say 10 out of 3, if you cannot get it the in logical order, that means that you are really lack of the concept building, conceptualization of the process, and then you are not really able to connect them logically. Logic is coming from here. Okay, this is the simplest way. Okay, now as you go down, you can read about it. You can after you download it. This is free. Okay. So, and oh yeah, one thing is that some people emailing me about asking some of the general idea about how to study and then what is the broad idea. Broad idea I provide in here. So, and then I can provide in emails. But some people email me is asking some of the specifics about the study method that has to be in the courses like a class material. So I don't provide classes yet, but in the future that I'm going to provide the classes online and then sometimes a meeting in the offline. Then you can bring what you have studied and then you can ask me if any part has to be really modified or any pattern need to be adjusted or something like that. That's a hands-on training that can be only done in the class. So here I can provide a general idea and then so it is your work that that you need to do. It's not mine, right? Because study is what you need to do, right? So you can read through, right? And then once you hang on. Yeah. Once you the going into the the methods, then here's the simplified method. Let me see if I yeah, these are the step-by-step method. These are the ones that you will need to follow. Okay. So what that means is that when you have a topic, then you can go from, let me see, first here. When you choose topic, choose something simple and easy. Okay, and then there's a rules to choose the topic. So the one that I'm selecting to give you some idea about this study methods, then I'll be the one that providing the how to deal with this topic. But when you choose your own topic, you need to analyze the topic from the beginning. Okay, you need to begin with the analysis of the topic. If you can start with the topic as is, or if you need to modify some strategy. For example, do I have example in here? I should, right? Yeah, oh yeah. So this bullet area is actually one, right? So what that means is that simply water drops. If you have like water drops, then water drops, these are two different words, and then these have to be dealt separately because drop is a gravitational force and the water is the molecules that you will see that they with the cycle. So that's two different topics. So you have to separate it, right? And then you have to build concepts separate, and then later on you need to make a connections. That's what I call connecting concepts. Okay. And you need to select the keywords. I'm going to show you one by one and later on. Now, if you have something like a biotechnology or hydropower or something like these type of the words, these are compound words. What you need to do is you need to break them and you need to find the keywords, and then based on the your selection, you have to build the concepts keyword first, and then the second word next, and you have to connect them in to make the to connect them and to merge it. So what you will need to do in every step that as we go on, then the you will need to follow, but the one thing that you have to do it by yourself, that is writing. So as you build concepts step by step, now you will have to uh, write it down by yourself, and then you will have to describe what you have seen in there, and then later on when you merge two different topics, for example, biotechnology, and then you build the concepts separately and merge it together, then separately, then later on you have to merge with the by the making the connections. Okay, that's what you will have to do. So writing is one of the methods that I suggest you to do. Okay. So well, I'm not gonna go into all the details with this book one by one, but this is a basic idea, and then you will see that what it look like. And this book level three, I mean not the level one dash two connecting concept is also the one that you will we will deal with, okay? We're gonna deal with it. But anyway, but the what you need to do is you need to really try to make the connections by yourself after building the concepts, okay? So after building the concept, meaning that you have to find the analyze, categorize your analysis in similarity and differences and connect them. For example, breathing. If you breathe, then digestive system. These look like two different sets, two different systems. And in the biology, if you are familiar with some biology, then you can see that these are separate chapters. But in the end, what you eat will be digested and getting into the blood. And once it goes into the blood, the nutrients goes into the nutrients go into the blood system. Then they will transport it to the cells for the cells to use to make the energy. But nutrients doesn't really contribute the nutrients alone doesn't contribute to produce energy. What you need is oxygen that is coming from the breathing. So you breathe in the oxygen, and then when it comes to the cells, then they break with the carbohydrate breaking down. Now they make a carbon dioxide, and then they come out as when you breathe out, right? When you exhale. So that's how breathing and digestive system are connected together. So these are the concept connections. And what I just provided in here as an example is simple and straightforward, right? And then it is easier to understand and easier to make a concept connections. The reason is because it is biology topic connected. So one single topic or same field like biology or chemistry or mathematics or some all these topics, they were separated. The reason is because topics are related to each other, but they are separated by the chapters, so dealt in the individual chapters. But as you study, what you need to do is you need to make the connections. For example, if you are learning from a university or high school, saying that this week you learned about what the digestive system. Then next week, the last week, you learned about the respiratory system. And this week, you learned about digestive system. Then, even if the teachers or professors, instructors don't provide chances for you to make the connections, it is you try to think that how you can make the connections. That's how you develop your thinking processes. Okay, but as I said, this will be challenging. It's not going to be easy. That's why building concept is first. Okay. And then building concept, there's a reason to make it easier and simpler a little bit for you to begin with. Okay. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Now, the reason that the concept building is key is that, as I said, just to simply go back to the last week lectures that I provided, then you probably remember this. That what happens is if you try to memorize that the salmon uh, species and try to identify them by looking at them and then you try to memorize this as a knowledge, it won't stay in your brain longer. Only the way to make your brain increase your capacity of the memory and inside of your brain is conceptualization. Okay, you need to conceptualize the knowledge so that you can actually identify. Okay, the way to do is observe and describe by yourself. If someone provides, okay, this is this salmon, this is this salmon, this is characteristic of the this salmon. If you learned in this way, then you're not gonna build concepts. You're gonna just simply build knowledge. To build concepts, you're the one who need to observe and describe and compare each other. Okay, that's what I'm going to show you how to do. And then this is what you need to do. And also the reasonings. Okay, reasonings you will have to build. Okay, so the reason is because the reasoning, if someone provides the reasonings, then that means that will sit in your in there inside of your brain as a knowledge because you didn't find the reasoning. Okay, so you have to build the reasonings as well. Since the time is already 5:12, and if you have any questions, you can type on the chat. But let me just wrap up with the reasonings what it is about. Okay, let's say this is a cell phone that you are using, and let's say you were saying that okay, the you have cameras in here and saying okay, this camera. They put it into the right and this right side and upper part of the right side because blah blah blah, and they provided the reasoning, right? If they provide the reasonings like this, then now you know, you understand. But what this reasoning is good for, what is this good for in your future? You know, so what, right? So the to make it yourself, okay, and then to get into the brain of the designers who designed this cell phone, you have to question why did they put the camera on the back, on the right side and up, right? On the right side of the corner, on the top. If you ask these questions by yourself, and then if you look for the answers, then because you simply ask the questions, now these reasonings that even though it is the same reasoning, did you get it? These reasonings are the ones that provide you this inside of the brain that will stay and longer, and then you can use these reasons and use to build for the concept. So you can think of it in this way. Knowledge is there, okay? And what you need to do is you need to conceptualize it by connecting it. To connecting it, there is two different options. One is observe, observe, and describe by yourself. Okay, that is, and this is why that the textbook or the book that you will download, you downloaded, then showing you that the it starts with a question to observe. Okay, this is the key. Okay, so always you have to start with the questions. Either way, well, I will show you in detail. And these questions will be the one that make connections of two different the knowledge, and then now this is the process of the conceptualization. Now, when you have this, okay, the reasonings, you have a question to ask reasonings. This is the one that make you to start it, the getting into the brain of the designers thinking processes, and with that you can build expand the concepts further. So basically you are learning from the who already has the knowledge. Okay, if you are learning in this way in school, then you will learn from teachers easier and faster. If you are learning this way in the in any kind of the project meetings or something, then you will learn. You will widen your idea, the thinking processes with other people's brain. This is the learning processes. Okay. Okay, so since there's no questions, I'll stop here. It already passed the 5:15, so I'll stop here and then I'll come back next week and continue with this one. Okay, so going to talk about a little bit more about this and summarize and provide a little more, and then move on to the actual learning processes. Okay, yeah. All right then. I'll see you next week. Bye.